not sounding crazy. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I'm trying to be vulnerable speaking here. I hope I'm not crazy. All right, everybody, welcome back to the What's Dill podcast. We're outside today, mixing it up in the studio. Wanted to take a little refresh. Wanted to just get out of the blue lights of the studio, the What's the Dill studio, and come outside. And it's so nice down here in Texas. It's getting hot, but it's really nice. So I just wanted to sit out here and do it and chat with y'all. And wanted to talk about today one thing I saw in the news, and God is our foundation. I've kind of been praying and working through this idea of God as my foundation. God is my foundation for my life, the life that I'm trying to build, or more so what I feel like I'm coming to is that God is building the house and He is the foundation and He is the house, and I'll get into that in a minute. But something I saw in the news which was so funny to me was now this rift between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And it was really funny to me because now all of a sudden there's this perceived rift going on and back and forth, and now they're having a falling out. And it was funny to me because I was just like, wow, that was quick. And just like that, you guys are having a falling out. 6 months ago, the month's jumping around for Trump. Now he's trashing Trump. Now Trump's trashing Elon. And it's so funny to me because it's like, that isn't that fast. That two guys, the height of American power, are having a falling out. Who would have thought that when a relationship is based around power, money, success, achievement, that there's a falling out? Because that's not a foundation. That's not a strong foundation for a relationship. And it really, really made me think about, like, you could put so much effort into building up your life and what you want it to be. I can build my life up and what I want it to be. Money, power, achievements, reputation. I want people to think I'm great. I want people to think I'm successful. I want people to think I'm the best. I want people to think that I'm cool. I want people to think that I have it all together. And if my life is built up just around that and getting other people's opinions to think good of me, to think that I'm strong, to think that I'm powerful, if I base my life on my own gains, I want to gain power, I want money, I want things, I want experiences, it can all collapse just like that. It's sandy ground to build a house on. So I was brought to the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 24, where Jesus says, "Therefore, everyone who hears these words of mine and puts them into practice is like a wise man who built his house on the rock. The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against his house, yet it did not fall because it had a foundation on the rock." I've been reflecting this past week, but also like the past few months about, am I building my life on the rock, or am I building my life on the sand? And we know that Jesus is the rock. We know He's the rock. We know He's the builder. We know that when we go more deep into His life, when we dive more deeply into following Jesus, that it has a strong foundation. And yet, here I am trying to build my house the way I want it on sandy land. Like, God as our strong foundation is such an important concept, I think, in our Christian faith, because our lives, because I think it takes away a lot of the feeling aspect of our faith away. And I've been really working through this feeling aspect of the faith, and I don't know about you, but I kind of have ups and downs with like my feelings about the faith, my feelings about God. Not in so much that I feel like emotions towards God, but more like I don't feel those spiritual highs that maybe I used to. I don't feel those super high moments like I used to, and sometimes I can go long periods of time without having like a high. Sometimes the Christian life for me, the walk for me, can kind of just be, a steady good, but like one foot in front of the other. And then obviously there are highs, but I think, when I was younger, there's a lot of highs, a lot of lows. So I've been really working through this idea of like my own feelings about life. Like, you see things, you hear things, and, you hear someone say like, oh yeah, I was just like spending an hour in adoration. I just was like totally lost in there. And I'll be honest, sometimes for me, I don't feel much when I go to adoration. I'll be honest, when I receive Jesus the Eucharist, sometimes I don't feel a lot. Or when I pray, certainly long stretches of time where I feel dryness. I hope I'm not sounding, I hope I'm not sounding crazy. I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I'm trying to be vulnerable speaking here. I hope I'm not crazy. There can be stretches of dryness. And I've really had to work through these lack of feelings, these lack of emotions in my walk with faith. And what I have kind of come to realize is that, there's not going to be all these super, super highs. Everything's not going to be just like a rocket ship of happiness and awesomeness and crying and adoration and these incredible experienced feelings. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. A lot of the Christian life, particularly as I've gotten older and I'm in a lot of periods of, work, life, husband, father, it's going to be a lot of like one foot in front of the other. So I've been renewed in this sense of God as my foundation, my life, He is the rock of which everything in my life, my family, my thoughts, my emotions, my actions, my work, my money, my everything. God is the foundation of all of that. Because it has to be built on God. Because I know the tough times are coming. So when you've seen this, when following Christ is just based on emotions and what I can gain from it, and I'm going to go to this church because I like this. I'm going to go work over here because I like this. Or I'm going to pray when I like to because I want this. I want to get a lot out of it. When the walk with Christ is based around what I gain from it and not on a foundation of God as like the source, summit, the foundation for all of my choices, my life, the way I look at the world, when the hard times come, when the rain comes, faith can be washed away so easily. And we see these examples all the time of people in our lives. We know people in our lives, and we've experienced this in our life, where hard things happen to us, and we get angry at God, we blame God, we say, God, where are you? Why has this happened to me? Why did this happen? I used to be, a Catholic, but then this person this person hurt me. I used to be a Christian, but then this person got cancer and I got so upset at God. I used to be a Christ follower, but these people never let me in and I always felt excluded. And when the hard times come, if our faith is based on what I get out of it, what I can gain from it, it will wash away with the rain. So I've really had this renewal of God as my foundation. And it's been hard because it's kind of come at a price of me not feeling a lot of emotions about my faith. It's been very kind of like one foot in front of the other about my faith. I would say maybe like the past year, maybe like prayer being drier than I wanted to be, drier than I needed to be. And what I have learned personally is that there are times when I just am like, man, this is dry, or man, this is tough, or man, I can't keep going, or man, I didn't get anything out of that mass. The kids were crazy. Man, oh my gosh, work is so much. Man, all these things. Oh my gosh, man, I keep getting up early, all these things. And oh man, Lord, I can't pray at all. And in the smallest little desperate moments of feeling like I'm at the brink, I've really met God there at the brink. What I've kind of come to realize is that I need to have God as my foundation. So when these hard times come, you're not getting washed away. And I look back at my life 10, 15, 20 years ago, and it's like I'm stronger now than I was then, because my faith was definitely shaken if hard times are coming. My faith was definitely shaken if someone holy was mean to me. My faith was definitely shaken if I was worried about my future. But now, in the moment in my life, as in the past year of kind of just doing the actions, putting one foot in front of the other, putting into practice the words of Jesus like a wise man, like he says here in Matthew 7, I've noticed that I've been able to have my foundation in Christ has been really, really deeply rooted. It's really, really solid. It's really, really solid. And now, when there are hard times, when I am raising kids, when I am getting up early, when I am working a lot, my faith isn't getting as shaken because my foundation is more on Christ. So I've been more convicted to be like, dude, I need to make sure that my relationship with God is rooted in Him, my life is rooted in Him, and that I can have a solid foundation and be solid when the hard times come. So, the ups and downs of emotions, the ups and downs or I'll say the lack of maybe ups and downs, maybe more of like the solid, not feeling ton of super spiritual highs, has made me double down on having God as my foundation and be like, all right, well, yeah, this is kind of what I have to do. Maybe I'm not feeling like I gain a lot from it, or maybe I'm not feeling like, oh, I'm getting so much from this. But it's solidified, it's helped me solidify that I need God in every aspect of my life, and that He is the builder, He is the foundation, and ultimately He is the one in charge of my life. And I've been able to put that into practice more and more and more. And so now, as I am taking on more than I've ever taken on in my life, because I've been able to say, hey, God, Lord, you're my foundation, you are my rock, I've been able to weather the storm. I've been able to kind of be more solid. Whereas 10 years ago, the hard times come and it's like, what is happening? Why is this happening to me? This is insane. God, why would you put me through this? So that story in the news reminded me of this moment, this experience I'm having in my life of trusting in God more to be the foundation, the rock solid foundation I need in my life. So, quick episode for you today. Out here, outside in the Texas heat. I feel like I'm probably sweating. I can see the camera. It's super, super bright, so I hope I'm not so washed out. But hope y'all are doing well. Let me know what you think about this episode in the comments. Like, subscribe so you never miss an episode, y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Peace. Bye.